Okay.
I'm going to start it off, and our first idea was we had an idea for a new physical therapy mechanism. My mom just had a knee replacement, and so it kind of got me thinking about it because they gave her this thing to take home, and basically what it was like a small boot, like what you would wear if you broke your ankle, and all it would do is push your leg back up to you and release it, push your leg back up and release it, and it seemed kind of primitive almost to me. And so we thought maybe if you use the robot with the counterbalanced arms, if it had a way to line the arms along your leg and had the bend where your knee was, and it can manipulate your leg to the side and bend it, or inside and bend it, and you can just manipulate your leg in a way that's more than just pushing your heel up towards you and then just letting it go, that maybe that would be a better way to rehab patients. And so we thought that that might lead to better PT. That could be kind of the pain, I guess, we're addressing, because I know that she had a lot of trouble using that thing. It seems like it's a pretty old thing that's just kind of not been improved. It looks like it was from about like 1964. It's really, really old looking. It's just kind of Velcro along your leg and just pushes it and then just releases it, and that's how you're supposed to rehab. So this might be a better way to rehab patients if you can manipulate their leg in a way that's more precise and kind of tailored to each individual person. So that was our first idea, and we thought we might be able to market that to clinics or hospitals or private practices and things like that.
In addition to that, it wouldn't just be for like knee replacements. It could do with your arms. It could be for any appendage or anything that you need a more gentle, guided kind of therapy that wouldn't be so harsh and so strenuous on the patient. So.
All right. And then our second idea is an ambulance stretcher locking system. As of right now, from what we've learned and speaking to other people, in the back of an ambulance, whenever they put the stretcher in, there isn't actually like a guided locking system. They just use the brakes that are on the stretcher. So our idea is to use the airborne mounting system to put a track along the middle of the ambulance floor, and then whenever they lift up the stretcher and put it in, it'll slide in easy and lock in. This problem pain that it addresses is for better safety and more stability in a moving ambulance. And along with just hospitals and ambulances and stuff, we could also bring it back to the military, and they can use it to lock it in to be in a moving vehicle and keep the stretcher stable. And then also another idea would be for like helicopters, whenever you're lifelining people, a better way to lock it in place. And like I said, they're currently only using the brakes on the stretcher, and it's just a lot more stable than using the brakes.
You could also put the mounting system on any other equipment that's in the ambulance, so any kind of like oxygen tanks or any other kind of equipment that you have to use in the ambulance or some other emergency vehicle. It would be fast, it's going to be all over the place, so holding that in place and being able to safely remove it off the tracks when needed is, like, I feel much more beneficial and safe than just having things floating around in cabinets or like having the pendulum floating through the ambulance.
Another idea with that is, we had just spoke about this before the class, not only having it go straight, like up and down in the ambulance, but also have tracks that go side to side. That way they can move it, if they need to get to this side quicker, they can move it to the side and lock it in, or move it to this side and lock it in. So not just stuck in the middle, it can move to either side.
And then our last idea was we had an idea for a bed cover that goes on pickup trucks or large work vehicles. And we thought the airborne mounting system would be good for that because they're already using high-grade aluminums in the manufacture of these vehicles. And so I think it would be very easy to include this feature on vehicles at a premium or something of that nature. But one of the big problems we found when we were looking for similar products was even just, we use my truck as kind of our scapegoat, and even just to apply something that's similar to this on the market, it would be $2,000 just for the part, not to mention the labor and everything like that. And so it seems like this is a really, really expensive product that's out there right now, and so if we could find a way to include this in manufacturing so it's not a secondary market addition, or if there was a way to manufacture this a lot cheaper, I think this would have a really wide reach. And I think a lot of the people that use them are primarily people using this on a work vehicle or something of that nature, and so I think this would have a lot of applications in not only private sector like that, but it could also be used as a cheaper alternative to products like that if you wanted to apply to the military or something of that nature.
Something else we discussed was Adam's truck. He talked about his bed cover as a piece of leather that has to be warmed up and stretched out before it can be put on his truck.
Yeah.
And so we've discussed having the option of maybe interchanging a soft bed cover with a hard one. That way you have more aesthetic options as well, but also it depends on what you're carrying, what you've got in the back of your truck. You may want the soft cover for maybe a little easier manipulation, or you want the hard cover for more safety of whatever you're hauling. So having the airborne mounting system just to slide both of those in, and then also be able to retract them whenever you need them open, gives you options that we didn't find anywhere else had that had.
Also with his truck, as an example, he has a toolbox in the back of his truck bed. And if we can make it adjustable to where if you have a toolbox, you can still use this, it'll just go up flush to the toolbox and be able to pull out. Or if you don't have the toolbox, go all the way to the cab of the truck.
Okay, well, thank you.